It's your Mental Health Matters. Johanse Ayodike joins me on set, and it is another interesting talking point. He's asking the question, is it really love? What a question. Johanse, our behavioral change consultant. What kind of way you want to invoke this morning, bro?
All right, well, one, I don't know how much time we have.
We have some time, man.
Right?
Don't worry. We can deal with it.
Two is something that I also research, and so I open to hearing different perspectives, even those who watching and those who listening a different perspective. So let me ask you first, right? No right or wrong answer. What is love?
Love is time. I spell love T-I-M-E. Love is time. Love is spending time. You know, that's why I look at love.
Okay. Now, of course, when you ask someone else what is love, they'll give a different answer. So if most of us have different answers to love, then is it really love? And then when we looking for love, because your idea of love might be time, my idea of love might be service, somebody else's idea of love might be something else, then we all looking for something different.
Yeah, because you see, I say time based on family relationships, relationships with friends, the things you're passionate about. You really spend time on the things you love and the things you enjoy. Think about it. If you love something, people who love video games will sit down there for hours. Those who love nature will just engross and surround themselves by it. You tend to always be drawn to the things you love, and when you're drawn to the thing you love and you find it, you spend time with it.
Right. So, and you see the things that's
quality time too.
No right or wrong answer, because let's use those two examples. You say video games and spending time in nature. Most times you love a video game because it gives you something.
Yeah.
Right? You love nature because it gives you something. So if you're looking for something, then is that really love? Because when I look at some of the definitions of love, and I could give you a simplified definition, is the unconditional service with no hope of reward.
Oh, interesting.
Right?
Powerful.
So if we look at love from that perspective, and again, I'm open to other people's definition.
But we always looking for something, Johanse. I think that's human nature. We all looking for some kind of validation. We all looking for some kind of approval. The singer will go up on stage, and when they finish with their rendition, they'll get a round of applause. Nobody will go up and sing and the crowd watch you like a big stone. A matter of fact, that will have you devastated.
Right. So then maybe it's not love we're looking for, because if you're looking for something that is more satisfaction, gratification, or even fulfillment, it may not be love you're looking for, because love is given. You're not looking for anything in return.
Also, love is more a giving scenario.
Yes, and even if we look from some of the religious books, let's say Jesus come and he gave his son, right, for no hope of anything in return, right? And I'm putting it that way because if we looking for something and it's not love, then we may never find it.
But you see, what I want to ask you now, you can't give what you don't have. The fact is, you can't give from a cup that is empty. So if you grew up knowing love, spending time was your parents or your grandparents or the people who nurtured you spend time and actually give you this blanket or this understanding of love, and it now dwells within you. I'm thinking it is way easier now to give, to actually extend. This is an extension of the love that you would have received, because you didn't come in. They said we come in love, but then at some point the love must be part of the nurturing process.
Perfect. And you see, you say looking for it. You can't give what you don't have. That means love had to come from within. And you see that same unconditional service with no hope of reward or return, right? That's something we could give ourselves. Expecting that from someone, maybe, and again, we're playing around with it, maybe erroneous, because even if you think about it, it don't have to be romantic love we even talk about.
No, it's not romantic love.
Child and mother. If your mother come back and say, well, I change your diapers, so this is what you have to do for me, right? That may not even necessarily be love.
No, but the thing is, it's kind of understood, because for most people, when they catch a length, to me, it is so unfortunate that somebody would rise out of their circumstance. They become socially mobile. And I've seen men do it. Men put, well, I guess, yes, your wife or your woman, you have to make sure they're in order. And I guess women now stepping up. So it's a combined effort. But how you could be living nice and your mother still in the same condition? It's those things baffle me, or people who don't rise or raise the family or raise the people closest to them, take them on a journey. Sometimes some people just, you wonder, where is the love?
Now, I hear what you're saying. So what you're saying, I agree with. Maybe there should be some reciprocity, right? But if I given you something because you give me something, that's not love, you know. That's more of a transaction, right? If I say, well, I given my mother or somebody who brought me up, they did this for me, so I'm making sure and do that for them. That's not necessarily love, because it's give, forgive, if you understand what I'm saying. But if I give somebody something when they do nothing for me, because I just give and forgive and sake, then that closer, and again, this is something I'm playing around with, closer to what love, quote unquote, is.
Interesting. I mean, obviously, there are people who they are very giving. That's the nature. But again, that giving nature, I believe it comes from a place and a foundation of love, where it would have been something they observe, they see the granny move a certain way, they see the grandfather being very generous, the mother spend time and dedicate a little something to, let's say, the church or the temple or the mosque or whatever. So it creates a kind of, it informs your particular disposition as you become an adult, and when you reach a certain level, and you have, because there are some people who very, very open, you know, they're very, it's like anybody could get through, and then some people very frugal, they don't give up, you can't get through with them, they're hard.
Right, so people who give in, once they're not looking for anything in return, that could be closer to the consideration of love. And these questions actually came out of, maybe over the last, I want to say 2 months, I've had a lot of couples I was seeing, right, who, you know, were in conflict because they were saying, well, I'm not getting what I want from the person, or this person was giving me all these things, and then they stop, so I'm no longer feeling the love. And if it is, again, you're given for something, is not really love, it is satisfaction, gratification, transaction. And then even parents, well, I do so much for this child, but they're not giving me back anything in return. So is it really love? And I'm not saying anything wrong with what they want, you know, because nothing wrong with wanting something from somebody, you know. But calling it love, that's what I'm questioning.
Well, people use the word investment a lot of times too when it comes to love, and I invest my time. Again, go back to time,
Right.
I invest my time. You see, I come like a man courting a woman, or a woman trying to court a man, a woman courting man, this wrongs, right? So a woman spending, taking the man out, fine wine and dine. She wants something in return. She wants a softening, she wants a love, she wants a steam. And if the steam is not forthcoming, or the steam is being given somewhere else, those things cause serious problems in relationships, cause people to get vexed and to fall out.
I see, that's okay, you know, but don't call it love. Because what it really is transaction, satisfaction, or even gratification.
So you think the word love, just like the word friend, because friend is another word that's been busted.
Right,
I mean,
that's a whole different show. On friend.
Maybe they say friend and I'm a friend and my friend. A friend is something that you can count probably on one hand. Some people, if you're lucky in life, you find one. Some people find two, some find three. But a lot of folks say friend is my friend. But as I say, a different conversation. We're talking your love. Love kind of in the same category where it's best.
You just treat it wrong.
But you see, it's thrown around because I'm thinking there is always this search, there is always this desire. You know, every single day, you're not looking for it, you know, but if it comes your way via a compliment, via...
You sure you're not looking for it? Plenty of people looking for the it, and what the it, again, most times is fulfillment, or gratification or satisfaction. Let's even go a little something quote unquote trivial. When I buy something to eat, I want a certain feeling of gratification. And when it takes, I really love this thing, boy. Right? And you go back there because you're seeking that satisfaction or gratification. And again, nothing wrong with satisfaction or gratification. But then, let me use the same food. If you go eat food and it's not tasting good, and you go back every day because you just want to give this person money, that is closer to love.
Well, I probably really love football, and by extension, the Soca Warriors. Because I'm telling you, I sit every single time, and I know that the result might not be what I want at the end of 90 minutes. But I sit and I watch the whole game, and I will cuss and I'll be frustrated, but I cannot miss. I must watch my team. I love my team.
Right, okay. So
that's like, that is love then.
Right, that closer to love.
Because it's not guaranteed. I'm not guaranteed to get the result I'm looking for, you know, and 9 out of 10 times I don't get it, honestly.
Right.
Look, we can even beat French Guiana the other day. What's that?
Right. And listen, you see that emotion that's stirred? You could tell, right, that is closer to love than what other people say they're seeking in others, or seeking from the children, or seeking in general.
Wow, Yonce, I won't lie. I wish we could. I mean, listen, let's.
All right. Maybe for the rest of the year, we'll just do part 2 of all the things. So I have the list.
Yeah, because this year we could talk for hours on this. Because you see, Yonce, yeah. Listen, I go back to saying you cannot give what you don't know, what you don't have. A lot of people out here, the hardness and the viciousness and the level of darkness we see, some people really and truly, they didn't have no hug, they didn't get no dad, no mom to really hold them and say, hey. So they grow up hard.
Right.
So you could give what you don't know. So if you know
missing something, they're missing something and looking for to be fulfilled, to be satisfied, or to be even gratified.
And I believe it's only natural. And I'm talking love from that stage of our adolescence, of a child, how you treat with a child, you hold the child, children, you could tell a child who grew up with love and who grew up in a loving environment compared to a child who didn't have it, you know. You see it from
that could be called affection, not necessarily love, eh?
Well, I mean, affection is not a byproduct of love.
That is a good question. Because sometimes you give affection because you want something.
Well, I mean, I'm thinking with children, it might just be natural. I mean, sometimes, so let me ask you now, could you overlove? Could you say too much of something good for nothing? Right? Too much anything good for nothing, right? Could you overdo it with love? Could you overdose on love?
That's a good question, because if you're using the working definition for love as the unconditional service without the hope of reward, then somebody, you're not getting anything anyway, so you could just be giving until you die, until you don't have nothing left.
Until you have nothing to give again.
Right.
So, and in that regard, it come like you don't even love yourself, because you're giving until, and you know, all the people you're giving, the day they don't have, they turn their back, you know. They move on to the next resource.
And you see, and that could be okay because he wasn't looking for anything in return either way.
Ooh, no, but you can't win them, boy. What I say, but you can't win them out here.
And that's why I say, it has to be, we come in these kind of conversations, and if everybody looking for something different, that's why that could cause all of this friction between romantic relationships, between parents and child, between citizen and government, because sometimes we're looking for these things, and all of us have these different definitions. Instead of, and here's the solution, a simple solution. I always go back to just be honest about what you want, right? I invest in all this time in you because I want to grow up and take over the family business. Just say what you want. I doing all this because I want somebody to spend the rest of life with me. I doing this because I want to take care of me in my old age. Just say exactly what you want.
In a couple of seconds that remain, you have the final say you want to say.
All right, with love, there are so many definitions for it, but truth is the path to making it simple. Don't make life complicated, because even though life is not easy, it's really not that hard. Thank you for listening.
Well, Nation, you know I love you. Huh? Just want to let you know. With my all. Right? With my all. Oh, goodness. You want to say thank you so much. Great conversation. Up next, we transition into the morning shot with Ian Wason. In-depth analysis, sport, and more. See you tomorrow. Godspeed.